Hey friends, Craig from the Vinyl Record Player. We got a CGC, a little bit of a vinyl tag here. He's celebrating a year in the VC with a three genres of one, six genres of another, five genres to finish it up for a 365 combo. I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and buckle up. All right, and we're back. So CGC Vinyl, he's doing a 365 contest, meaning he's like three records of one genre, six records of another, five records of another, obviously for a total of, for the math friends out there, I believe 14 records. I just thought I'd do it. He was a little bit, make up your own genres, but, I'm going to stay conservative and be blah, a little boring today. And I'm just going to go with what normal people would call basic genres. So let's rip it out with three country rock LPs. We start with the 1972's Manassas, Stephen Stills. I'm told one of the best live bands ever. Certainly a ton of great players. Chris Hillman, obviously ex of the Byrds. Dallas Taylor, drummer, I believe CSN. Joe Lala, all over this piece. A lot of sort of Latin percussion on this one. Fuzzy Sam Samuel's great bassist, and of course Paul Harris, also a piano master. Anyway, these guys were around for 2 or 3 years. Classic case of, unfortunately, Stephen Stills. Basically, he's like, oh, I want this to be my band. And the record companies are like, yeah, dude, you have a band. And they're called CSN. So, unfortunately, what happens is they burn out. By that point, I believe Stephen Stills was drinking and doing an incredible amount of drugs. And unfortunately, that tends to cook you up and burn you out. So this is really their last fantastic album. They do have another one after this. It's called like Down the Road, maybe from '73. Anyway, Chris Hillman has talked about this, about how, it was great, but it burned out. And Chris Hillman moved on. He had a bit of a super group in the '70s, and then the rest of these players kind of ended up going with him. Can't forget Al Perkins. Wow, you want to talk about a pedal steel master? I believe he's still alive. He went into the Christian music type of situation, but what a player. Anyway, great album. I was obsessed with it for a bit, kind of burned myself out. Still a very good album. One of the better double albums in terms of studio rock albums in the early '70s. Second, country rock. We'll talk about the New Riders, the Purple Sage. Basically, kind of proteges of the Grateful Dead and of Jerry Garcia. Basically Powerglide, I believe it's their second LP. This one's got some good ones on it. Their first LP is obviously a kind of a classic one, but this one's got, of course, it was beautiful, beautiful stuff here. Look at that. Love it. So yeah, we got Dim Lights, Thick Smoke, and Loud Music. Rainbow. Oh, Rainbow. That's your New Riders of the Purple Sage track recommendation of the day. Rainbow. Wow, really good stuff. Basically the issue with these guys is that they didn't really write their own songs. So you're talking about a lot of covers over a bit about 4 or 5 albums. I've got about 3 or 4 of them. They're fun and they're great for that period, which is of course early '70s country rock. This of course is Powerglide. And Poco. A little Poco. How about a good feeling to know from, I think it was '73, right? 72. This is one of the last with Richie Furay. Basically, this was supposed to be the album that broke them. There's actually some great video on YouTube with them doing a kind of a live spot, I believe, on the Old Grey Whistle Test, which if you can catch any of those clips, you want some fantastic '70s rock, '70s soul, '70s weird. Wow, really great stuff with the Whispering Barbaris, I believe his name was. Anyway, good album. I think it's their best album. I used to prefer them to the Eagles. I know, that sounds crazy, but it's true. Kind of burned myself out on these. I went a little crazy on the country rock and kind of lost the taste. But in this one, good feeling to know the title track is very good. But you know what? I think probably my favorite has got to be Ride the Country, right? Going in the back country of sort of Northern California here, Listen to Ride the Country up and around the winding roads. Oh, it's like a 6-minute kind of a jam, but very good. So yeah, that's my third. Country rock, Poco, A Good Feeling to Know. Like I would say, great entry point for Poco if you're interested in that realm. So for 6, I'm going to go into my own book on this one, and I'm going to talk about soul. I'll talk about 1970s Spirit in the Dark, Aretha Franklin. Obviously, let's be real. You get anything by Aretha in the period of about 67 to about 74, even there's a Tragic album that has this just terrible cover. I still haven't got it, but even that one, you're talking Aretha at peak power. So Spirit of the Dark is one of those albums. This isn't my favorite of her work, certainly, but you got The Thrill Is Gone. Don't Play That Song is definitely one of my favorites. The title track. Again, hard to go wrong with Aretha in this period. This is an original-ish copy. Apparently, at one point, I purchased this for $4.99. Although that would have been, let's just say, it would have been a while ago, kids. This record, you're not going to get this record for under 20 at this point, especially original pressing. This is probably Canadian pressing, which many of my early pressings are. That's right, it's coming out again, friends. Mitty Collier, Shades of a Genius from 1965 on the Chess Soul label, as a matter of fact. Told the story before. Wow, this is an album, friends. Really, one of the first, in my opinion, really great soul albums. Up until then, soul albums were a little bit like, here's some B-sides, here's some hits. We'll put it on a big record, see if somebody bites, This one is fully realized. And Mitty would never do another album for Chess. Big hit on this one, of course, is I had a talk with my man last night. But you know what? I can't even recommend specifically another track. But you know what? Let's give it a shot. What do we got? My Babe. Oh, My Babe is... that's the thing. You know what? This whole album is good. If you have an opportunity to hear this, and I don't even think you can hear this on streaming, hear it. It's fantastic. There is a Mitty Collier sort of best of Chess compilation that's got all of what's on here. What an album. What an album. She is a giant voice. And shame again, she never really went anywhere after that. Did a lot of gospel, even up to the 80s. I have another album by her. But Mitty Collier, Shades of Genius, 1965. Oh, gotta whip out my man, Leon Haywood. Keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. I believe this is kind of a second one from the 70s. What I love about Leon Haywood is that, you know what, he if he releases a jam and he's not happy with the chart position, he just puts it on his next record as well. In this case, that particular song I'm talking about, of course, is Long As There's You, I Got Love, which is basically like this excellent sort of riff on Isaac Hayes' classic Walk On By. Similar orchestration and whatever, but Leon's got no shame, and thank God for it, because wow, funky record. This would be, of course, before his I Want to Do Something Freaky to You single, and I'm not really sure what that album is called, but again, I'm always on the look, because Leon Haywood, super underrated LA soul artist from the 1970s. Keep it in the family. I think this is 74. And of course, the 20th Century label. Oh, a little pickup. I've been hooked on this one. I've been jamming on this one hard. Little Honeycomb, little Soul Tapestry. I think it's from 71. The ladies are looking good. Anyway, this has got their big hit, #1 for about 3 weeks. That, of course, would be the Want Ads, The key lyric on this one, of course, is... I'll come back with that key lyric. Let me, though, note also. Hello, ladies. Hell love. They only did about 3 albums, Honeycomb, on the Hot Wax label with Holland Is Your Holland. And anyway, Want Ads is Wanted, Young Man, Single and Free, Experience with Love Preferred, but will accept a young trainee. Boom, boom. Love it. That one was written by, I think, General Johnson and another gentleman. General Johnson, of course, from Chairman of the Board. But anyway, Honeycomb, Soulful Tapestry. I still haven't fully listened to the album. This is not available on streaming, so this is one of those ones where you don't have the record. Good luck. So yeah, little Honeycomb. I now have 2 of the Honeycomb LPs. This one I'm very excited to check out. Gotta mention Al. Explores Your Mind, 1974. I think one of his last truly great albums. This one's so close to greatness. Living for You, which I think came before this, not his best work. Then, of course, you have your pile, which is like Call Me, I'm Still in Love with You, Let's Stay Together. But Explores Your Mind is great. Explores Your Mind has I'm Hooked on You. Let's see, what's some classics from side A on this one? Sha-la-la. I mean, obviously, Take Me to the River. Take Me to the River's on this guy. So anyway, Al Green explores your mind, and what an exploration that has been. Al Green. Let's go talk my book. Talking my book. 1973, I believe, on the is that phonogram or is that polygram? Anyway, doesn't matter. It's Mercury Records. Jerry Butler produced partly, anyway. He's a bit of a hired gun and not a cheapie. Johnny Bristol part of the production on this one. It's a very, very good album. I think this is one of his last really good back-to-back kind of albums. In fact, I would call it good. Not really, really good and strong. But again, you got Jerry in still full, superb 70s mode combined with Johnny Bristol on the production. And I mean, the results are the power of love. And also, I love this classic Sears sticker, which, denotes that probably before I bought this, nobody even opened it. Those are my 6 souls. So what do we got left for the CGC contest? Well, what we have is jazz. And this one is not easy for me. I'm very new to jazz, but you know what? I like it. I think instrumental music needs to be in my life more. Shower, bring it down, make it rain. So yeah, let's go to my book, which is frankly not a lot of jazz records, but here we go. How about Thelonious Monk, 68, Underground. Beautiful cover, just epic cover. Great record too. The sound's fantastic. This is probably like an 80s pressing, or not 80s pressing, but more like probably a 2000s or late 90s pressing on the Columbia label. Yeah, not much to say about this record except hear it. Thelonious Monk, I don't know much about him, much about his material, but it's a really good record. Yeah, one of my first soul jazz records, Jimmy McGriff. A thing to come by on the Solid State label, which is kind of pretty and lovely. Great record. Lots of funky organs. Jimmy, obviously a player of the Hammond organ, and man, he freaks it out. There's some really, really great grooves on this. It's a great, again, this jazz to me is often just a great, like, sort of motivating music. Great to work to. I mean, I'm a bit of a writer, kind of what I do. So yeah, a little bit of Jimmy McGriff makes those evenings a little more funky. It's a new one too. I saw some on the 6-inch pianist, John, classic VC channel. You should check him out if you haven't. Anyway, Bobby Hutcherson, Natural Illusions. I think it's on the Blue Note label. I do not have a lot of Blue Note label. It's a non-jazz guy, but yeah, good album, very chill, 1972. Yeah, he's a vibes man, and he's great. I very much enjoy him. I think yeah. This is one that I'm gonna get a little bit deeper into, see what else Bobby has to say. Obviously got to go to the classics. I bought this apparently for $10.99, which means I didn't buy it for $10.99 at any time within the past 15 years because I've seen this record for $60. This one's, but you know what? I think it's one of his best. I did actually manage to secure a copy of A Love Supreme, which I had on compact disc. Going way back, it was basically like my first jazz album, and back in the compact disc days. And no compact disc, no revival. I'm not gonna say sorry, no revival. It will not happen. Anyway, that's a total piece of editorial, friends. But let's Blue Train, great album. If you haven't heard it, you should. Even if you're not a jazz fan, and like I say, I'm not the most experienced jazz guy. This album is a bonus. And yeah, love this cover. I know, it's unhealthy. It's an unhealthy choice, Stanley. Stanley, it's an unhealthy choice you're making with this tobacco use. But you know what? Great album, saxophonist. And this is a compilation on the CTI label. Really good stuff. The big kind of semi-hit for him was called Sugar. But this is a great record, and Stanley is an interesting player, and yeah, likes to pull on the old darts. He likes to smoke a tab or whatever you might call them in your area. Anyway, so that is the 365 CGC Vinyl tag. Special thanks to him for making it up. I could have gotten more creative with the genres, but I thought, we'll keep it vanilla. And that's what I did. So, like and subscribe if you're still here. I mean, easy click on the button, totally free. All of a sudden, joy comes into your world. It's a guaranteed fact. So at any rate, yeah, thanks for joining me. I will link to CGC's channel below. And of course, I guess we're just going to have to go ahead and see you on the next one.